addition is JoJo, the African crested porcupine. She wants to fight me a little, huh? Here, I tell you what, why don't you enjoy that little piece of sweet potato there, and we'll enjoy watching you eat. How's that? So, this is JoJo. She's our newest family member. She's an African crested porcupine, or sometimes just called crested porcupine. The word porcupine comes from a French word, which is porc espin, which means spined pig. Yeah, spined pig. Well, look at the face. It's not really a pig face, is it? I mean, kinda. But really, porcupines are actually rodents. So, they're closely related to squirrels and hamsters and guinea pigs and rats, but not really closely related to a pig at all. They actually have feet with toes and claws. Pigs, of course, don't. But you get the idea. You see this thing lumbering around, you might call it spined pig. But in any case, the crested porcupine is a little bit different than what we have here in North America. There's actually, about 50 different species, 58 or so species of porcupine throughout the world. The crested is actually the largest species. Now I know you're looking at JoJo here thinking, well, that's not very big. Well, JoJo's only 7 months old. She won't be fully grown until about a year or 2, which is when then she'll also be sexually mature and maybe be able to have some babies. But the full grown, this thing will get to be about, 2 to 4 feet long maybe, and anywhere from 30 to about 60 pounds. That's right. Now, of course, it's a porcupine, and everybody worries about porcupines because of the quills, right? Well, the nice thing about the crested porcupine is that these quills are not barbed like our North American porcupine, which means if they stick into you, they don't stay stuck in you. That's a very good thing, because that's the big problem with porcupines. You see, they don't run around trying to throw their quills out at everything, by the way. They actually use these quills for protection, because believe it or not, these guys have some things that would love to eat them. Yeah, I mean, you're talking a big rodent here. Things like lions, hyenas, some leopards, birds, different big birds of prey would love to eat these guys. By the way, it's called African crested or just crested porcupine because it's usually found in Africa. North Africa, the sub-Saharan Africa, but also found in Italy. Pretty much all of mainland Italy except the heel of the boot, if you will. So it's not just an African creature, but the crested porcupine in Africa especially has the African animals trying to eat it. What? Guess what? To protect itself, it does have the quills. Now, I don't know if JoJo here is going to show us a little bit of the defensive measures. Now that she's busy eating, it's a little tricky for me. You ever try to, scare an animal that's eating, like your pet dog or cat? It doesn't always end well. So I'm going to see if I can get her to show you how she quills. And by quilling, I mean she opens up all of these quills right here, but she also does something very different. Now on the back she has some quills that aren't sharp. They're actually more like tubes that are just open, and when she gets scared she'll shake them and rub them together and it makes a rattlesnake type sound. Now quills are just types of hairs, and I don't know how many of you know this, but did you know that fingernails and hair are made out of the same thing? It's called keratin. And her hairs, some of her hairs are like our hairs, are a lot rougher than our hairs. But then a lot of these turn into more like like fingernails on the porcupine. And these fingernail type ones are hollow and sharp. And she has muscles to control where they go. And you can see now she's making herself look really nice and big. Now I don't know if I can get her to turn around at all right now, but if we're all very quiet, we might be able to hear her make her little rattling sound, which is good to know about if you're out in the wild and come across an African porcupine. Let me see if I can get her to shake her tail and see if we can hear that. I know we've got a little bit of wind going here, but let's see. Here we go. You ready? Couldn't hear that too much. Yeah, I'm going to actually touch her, but I'm not going to do it with my fingers. That would hurt. Can you hear that? Kind of hard to hear, I know. But look it, there we go. Look closely at these back end. There we go. See how they're a different shape? That's so that it can make noise and make itself scary, because these are all at the back. So if an animal comes up to the porcupine, it's going to turn around and make it to where it has to attack this way. In fact, sometimes they'll even charge backward. She's really good at keeping me on the side. See, she can tilt this way, or if I come from this side, she can go that way. Now, if she wasn't busy eating, which is one of the reasons we're doing this now, if she wasn't busy eating and I was messing with her, especially if even me, who she knows, she'll put those up and then sometimes kind of lunge a little bit backward, but she'll literally run backward at a predator trying to eat her. And how sharp are these? They're sharp enough that sometimes I'll end up bleeding after I accidentally get poked by one. And believe it or not, these quills from these crested porcupines, they've actually defended themselves and killed lions, leopards, hyenas, and even humans. Yeah, so it could be something that you might want to leave alone if you were to find out in the wild. Now, she's only 7 months old, I mentioned. She'll live to be about 25 or 30 years old, and we're going to have her for quite a while. She loves eating plants. She's a herbivore. She likes things like roots and tubers. She likes leaves. Occasionally, she'll eat some insects and stuff, but generally, she's out there eating things like one of her favorite foods, the sweet potato. Now you can see how she's just taking a bite out of that. Being a rodent, she has the big teeth on the top and the bottom that come together, and they're always growing. And so these teeth down here, they have to keep them short or else they get too long. And that's why we have things like this wood in here and other pieces, so that she can always chew on those and keep her incisor her teeth from getting too long and too big, so she can always eat things like this. So she'll, in the wild, dig up some of these roots. She would dig up your sweet potatoes if you had them, but she also likes other things. I don't know if I can get her away from the sweet potato at all to give her any of these, but she does like some leafy vegetables. One of her favorite foods is cabbage, so I've got some cabbage here. I don't know if she's going to want to eat that for us. And she's like, oh yeah, my favorite, the cabbage. Hey, you don't want any piece of cabbage? She's like, she really loves the sweet potato, can you tell? Yeah, here's a little cabbage for you if you'd like. Now, she will occasionally eat fruit. We'll give her things like strawberries and such that she likes. But I will tell you, variety is the key, like anything. So she may have carrots tomorrow with some lettuce. She's going to eat different legumes, like beans and stuff. In fact, one of her favorite legumes is the peanut. That's right. That's right. She's a star and she works for peanuts. I don't know if she's going to change up on eating this to show us you want a little. There's a peanut here, Jojo. She's like, no. She thinks I'm going to take her sweet potato, because, you know, that's what I normally do when I see a porcupine. I try to steal the sweet potatoes. No, that's silly. But look, Jojo. I know, she's like, I really love this sweet potato. But here's there's a peanut. Yeah. Now you'll notice that she smells that peanut a little. She's like looking at it, but nope, I'm going to have the sweet potato. Their sense of smell is their most used sense. They can see, but not real well. But being that they're nocturnal, you would think they'd be able to see better. But hey, if it's totally dark and you can smell your way around, that works out well. And sense of hearing's pretty good. Now, she's not good enough to be able to know her name to where I'm like, here, Jojo, come here. But she does hear. She also can feel, even without seeing, hearing, or smelling. If I just touch these in the back, just lightly, boom, just like that, she knew something was there. You can see she has whiskers as well, and those whiskers are great for feeling her way around. So she can root around and find lots of things. But let's take some questions about the crested porcupine.
Does she shoot her quills?
They do not shoot their quills. Now, I would be in a pretty dangerous position if that was the case. And I know you're kind of hoping that was going to happen, but they don't shoot their quills. Now, some porcupines are known to shoot their quills, and really what they do is they open up, and when they barely touch something, it stays in, and then they pull away. But they can't really take them and throw them like darts or anything, which is really a good thing, let's be honest, all right? But the porcupine here, I want to show that defense again and maybe see if I can get her to turn around a bit. I'm going to wait. I think she's almost done. All right, well, I'm going to see if I can get her to open up. You can see the back maybe like if you were a predator. So let me see if I can do this without getting stabbed with a quill. Hey, over this way. I'm a predator, and I'm coming to eat you. Notice she keeps the back end towards me. then you see some of these are really big and sharp. Oh, can you hear that? We got that rattlesnake rattle going now. And you can see these quills down here. It looks like they broke off. That's just how they are. And that makes that noise that you hear there. Let's be real quiet, see if we can hear you. Ready? No, you can't hear her. She's not doing it real big right now. But it is enough that if you're an animal coming up, you're going to think twice about messing with that. Plus, of course, having all of these sharp spines, and if she was to lunge backward at you and stab you in the face with those, yeah, you get the idea. Can you hear that? All right. Wow. All right. I'm going to move back over here by the food, Jojo, all right? We can still be friends now, right? Okay. Because I do have another treat if you want to come over and try a strawberry. Who doesn't like strawberries? Actually, if you don't like strawberries, don't let me know because we can't be friends, I don't think. There you go. Now, one of the things that you might notice is that when she gets her food, she'll use her paws to kind of hold it down. Now, in the wild, she would dig one up. It might be stuck in the ground. She could just eat it. But once she pulls it free, pin it down with those front feet and go ahead and eat at it. And, of course, that works out really, really well. Yeah. So, the African porcupine, the crested porcupine, I'm sorry, very, very interesting and, let's be honest, cute animal. I mean, really, for being a rodent, it's pretty cute, don't you think? But, of course, remember that cuteness can quickly turn into, a nice bad encounter there. So, go with another live question.
How quickly can they strike with their quill, per se?
Well, it's funny because you got to realize, too, she's been in captivity, never been out in the wild. She's had a pretty cush life, actually. And so she's even not as quick as some out in the wild. But if she wasn't busy eating, and this is one of the things that I'm cheating by having her be eating, mostly because, yeah, it's kind of cute as well, let's be honest. And let's see, you want a peanut? Oh, she loves peanuts. Can you hear the tail? Kind of hear her snorting over there too, kind of huffing, if you will. But she can lunge pretty good for a few inches. So she's kind of planting the ground, and if something comes up close, then boom, she can jump backwards real quick. Of course, hey, I know. Gee, you think I have one in my pocket, huh? There you go. She's like, I'm going to grab it and then give you the other end. Yeah, thanks. I thought we were better friends in this, Jojo. Oh, yep. Oh, you want another one? Here's another peanut. Well,
You ever find yourself with a quill in you? What should you do?
well, it's stuck in you. You want to just pull it out. It's going to hurt, but they will only continue to go deeper. Well, on this one, it wouldn't be a big issue. You see, the quills, which I found one here that's come out, if you look at this very closely here, as I fall over onto a porcupine. All right, so this end here was down inside, and it's kind of like a bird feather, if you will. Hey, oh hey, I got some greens for you. Yeah, you're looking around like you really want some good stuff, huh? Yeah, you want another peanut, don't you? Yeah. There's that. When you get done, there's a peanut. Yeah. So this is nice and sharp and pointed, but it's not barbed. So if this was to stab into you, yeah, like that, it would actually stab right in, ow, and then come right back out. Now, our North American porcupines and some of the other species have little barbs, so it stays in you. And if you leave it in there, it actually works deeper and deeper and will actually go all the way through. But this isn't something to worry about, and, you know, it's just more of a poke and be done situation. So, with that, though, the porcupine, very interesting, cute animal. Before we go, I want to remind you that Wednesday we have another live right back here. We're going to be talking about one a lot of people have asked about. It's an Arizona native creature. It's a very special creature. I'm talking about the horned lizard. Some people know it as a horny toad, but it's a horned lizard. And we're going to talk about the horned lizard because it has a very, very, very special superpower that some of you already might be aware of, but we will definitely talk about whenever we see it on Wednesday. And hopefully, if we're lucky, maybe we can get it to show its superpower. But for today, we're going to end up wrapping it up here. I do want to thank everybody for showing up again, and once again for all of you taking advantage of the virtual tip jar. We do thank you for that. I'll put that information in the descriptions here. I want another. There you go. There's strawberry. Ooh, it's like I smell it. It's somewhere. She loves those peanuts. In any case, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for using the virtual tip jar to keep these things going so we can keep these animals fed. Thanks again to Abiding Impression for the online store. And if you're looking for some Wildman Phil merchandise, go to wildmanphil.shop and check that out. Otherwise, we'll see you back here at 11 o'clock Arizona time while we talk horned lizards this Wednesday. Hope you enjoyed seeing JoJo, the cute little crested porcupine.